This is VOA News. Via remote, I'm Diane Roberts. The Iraqi army said Sunday 2 drones were destroyed above a base housing U.S. troops. This comes 1 month after the same base was targeted by an armed drone. The U.S. military's CRAM defense system was activated to shoot down the drones above the base located in Iraq's western desert, the Iraqi military said. Several hours earlier, a rocket was shot down above Baghdad's airport without causing casualties or damage. Burkina Faso's government says gunmen killed at least 100 civilians in a village. A government spokesperson said the attack took place in Sohan village. The president called for 3 days of mourning. A researcher at the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project says it was the deadliest attack recorded in Burkina Faso since it was overrun by jihadists linked to al-Qaeda and the Islamic State about 5 years ago. Police in northwest Nigeria's Kebbi State said Sunday the death toll from an attack by a gang of cattle thieves on villages Thursday had risen to 88. A Kebbi police spokesperson said, quote, initially 66 bodies were recovered, but 22 more have been found, end quote. He added the search for more bodies was ongoing. Many people were still unaccounted for Sunday after fleeing the attacks. The region has struggled with decades-long communal clashes over resources, but more recently some groups have become more violent, looting, killing, and kidnapping for ransom. A man with a knife killed 6 people and wounded 14 others in a city in eastern China, state media reported Sunday. The attack occurred Saturday afternoon, about 430 kilometers west of Shanghai, state television said. The suspect was arrested and an investigation was underway to determine the circumstances. This is VOA News. The United States will stand with its European allies against Russia, President Joe Biden has promised ahead of the first face-to-face meeting with Vladimir Putin of his administration. Mr. Biden will head to Europe Wednesday and is set to attend both the G7 and NATO summits, as well as holding a high-stakes meeting with the Russian leader in Geneva June 16th. The summit comes amid the biggest crisis in ties between the two countries in years, with tensions high over a litany of issues, including hacking allegations, human rights, and claims of election meddling. In an op-ed for the Washington Post published Saturday, the U.S. president promised to shore up Washington's Democratic alliance in the face of multiple crises and mounting threats from Moscow and Beijing. Since taking office in January, the president has ramped up pressure on the Kremlin, and his comments likening Putin to a killer were met with fierce criticism in Moscow. 3 American senators visiting Taiwan say the U.S. will give the island 750,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccines, part of President Biden's move to share millions of shots globally. Taiwan has complained that China is hindering its efforts to secure the injections amid an outbreak. Democratic Senator Tammy Duckworth, who arrived in Taiwan with her 2 colleagues Sunday, says the trip underscores the bipartisan support for the Democratic island that Beijing claims as its own renegade territory. Taiwan's foreign minister welcomed the senators and said China continues to try to block Taiwan's international assistance and prevent it from participating in the World Health Organization. He says Taiwan is no stranger to that kind of obstructionism. British Health Minister Matt Hancock said Sunday it was too early to say whether the government would stick to its plan to fully lift COVID-19 lockdown restrictions in England June 21st. Hancock said there had been a very significant impact from the Delta variant of COVID-19 first detected in India over the last month, which is now the dominant strain in England, according to official estimates. He pointed to a renewed rise in COVID-19 cases, but said he'd been reassured by a broadly flat rate of hospitalizations and deaths as officials consider plans to end the lockdown. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says he's deeply disappointed the Roman Catholic Church has not offered a formal apology and made amends for the role it played in Canada's former system of church-run Indigenous boarding schools. Friday's comments come days after the remains of 215 children were located at what was once the country's largest such school. Via remote, Diane Roberts, VOA News.